All right. Welcome in. Woo. Good to be back. Episode 4. So welcome in. If you're going to be watching this as a video, then thank you. If you're watching this live, then thank you as well. We didn't have a podcast episode last week just because a lot of stuff was going on. So this week it's going to be a lot longer. We're going to be going over a lot of topics today, so it should be really good. We have a lot of stuff to cover, so please just sit back and relax. If something doesn't, intrigue you, I'm sure we're going to have something on this podcast that will. So this is going to be one of the longer ones, like I said. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. I'm glad to announce that we also do have 2 very special guests with us today, and I'll be introducing them in just a second. So let's go ahead and pause this music, and we'll hop right on over into it. And we're going to be live. Hello?
You twerk on YouTube in college gaming.
Oh, we twerking now. Is that what we're doing?
That is factual.
You guys know me. I only speak facts.
All right.
My girlfriend, I made her cry today.
Oh. All right. So let me switch these up real quick.
Did you
Roxy
apologize
needs to go
for
over
those
here.
facts?
No, I didn't, because she needs
It happens to the best of us. Just knowing you're right.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So welcome in, guys. Thank you all for joining.
all this commotion, I didn't lose a single follower. I gained.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But welcome in. It is season 2, episode 4.
There we go.
I'm
Come
your
see
host,
your
HavoK
boy.
Nades. So welcome in. Today, like I said, we do have 2 very special guests. We have HavoK Lucifer with us, as well as HavoK Dylan.
I love how Nate's has been talking this whole time and he's muted.
Am I muted?
He's doing the opening.
So
He's done with the opening.
I think they can't hear me. So let me make sure that they can hear me. Voice and video, microphone blue. Hello.
I'm trying to fuck you in your bestie.
Hello. No, they can't hear me. Yeah, I'm gonna see if this works. Can y'all hear me? Okay, there we go.
Yes, sir.
For some reason, my blue is not working, so sorry about that little technical difficulty right there. HavoK Lucifer with us today, as well as HavoK Dylan, just like I was just saying. So welcome to them. You can find them at HavoK Dylan, at HavoK Lucifer. As always, I'm your host at HavoK Nades, at HavoK Prophecies right above me, and then good old Mr. HavoK Shark, whose birthday is today. So welcome in to him.
Happy birthday!
Birthday boy.
To him.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
So how old are we now, Nick?
I don't want to talk about it.
Don't want to talk about it. All right, that's cool.
See,
Dude,
all we
don't-
gotta say is that he's got the receding hairline. He's getting that old.
Hey.
Oh no, boy.
Hey.
It's nothing to be
don't
ashamed of.
matter.
Early 40s, man. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
No?
Early 40s.
So welcome in. This is going to be one of the longer podcasts, like I was stating in the introduction. So we're gonna have.
It's beautiful. Okay.
What? He had to prove it?
Look at Nades. You can't even see his eyebrows.
I can't see my forehead.
That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the cut.
That's what I'm saying. See, everyone hating on the 2010 Justin Bieber hair. Meanwhile, I'm out here perfecting the hair flip,
Oh,
and
dude,
we got this on point.
Dude, I got it too. Don't worry. I got it
He's
too.
gonna break his neck by flipping his hair. So hard.
Dude, sometimes I feel like I'm gonna get a concussion. I'm gonna have brain damage by the time I'm 40. So it's all right though.
So welcome in, everybody.
Yeah, welcome in.
Episode 4.
Podcast episode
Quattro.
4.
And my
Sorry.
birthday.
Yep, on your birthday. So that's going to be a good one. Sorry about last week, guys. We did have a lot going on, and as a whole, we felt as, the 3 who run the podcast, it'd be better if we could just put it onto the next podcast and just have a lot to talk about and give you a solid podcast rather than rush it and give you like another 45 to an hour podcast. So we're going to do a good one today. Like I said, we have 2 very good members within the org. We'll introduce them a little bit. So HavoK Dylan, he is one of the members that joined. He plays COD primarily on PS4, very good at COD. So he's going to be talking with us about COD and what's going on in there. And then at HavoK Lucifer joined as our events manager, if I'm correct. He left his org, which he was a co-owner of. to come join HavoK and basically join a better org. So we're glad to have both of them, and now they are on the podcast. So like I tell you each week, if you do want to be on there, we do have a long list of people who want to be on, and I'm going to be getting to you, so if I hit you up, just be ready to be on. We'll have meetings and everything like that in the near future for the podcasts that are going to be coming up. But without further ado, I think Mr. Shark did want to go over something before we start going over the topics that we're going to cover. Is that correct, Shark?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
So this is a very serious moment, guys. Shark
Fix
does want to
some
talk to you
things.
about some things that have been going on. So this is coming straight from the owner. So if you skip the whole podcast, at least just listen to this little part. So floor's yours, Shark.
Hey, I mean, it's really not that important, right? So, like, the first point I want to make is that a lot of people don't realize this, but we have a lot of members who are over the age of 25 who have been gamers for a long time and aren't on Twitter. So that's just the first thing I wanted to go across is like, HavoK is a lot deeper than what you might see on Twitter. Secondly, we opened up membership and allowed a whole lot of people to interact and join the organization. Unfortunately, just like any gaming community, sometimes you get those people who are just negative. Um, anyway, what I wanted to get at is like, you know, a lot of people think that um, some of the things that we might have said were unprofessional. And the first point I want to hit on that is within the organization. Uh, First of all, there's a lot more going on than the majority of the organization ever sees. There's a lot more. We have friends who are lawyers who help us. We have friends who are our jersey sponsor, Charles and MaxT, helps us out. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. And so when you see something and you might think it's unprofessional, just understand that a lot of these things don't even pertain to the org. It has nothing to do with the organization. And, us and I just want to keep the organization separate from any kind of negative things on Twitter. So sometimes we can get protective when it comes to that.
I am
Because,
guilty as charged.
and we're guilty. We do get protective. It's because we worked very hard to get to where we're at, and we try to keep stuff that doesn't matter, doesn't pertain to the org, has nothing to do with the organization away and out of it. And along with like opening up membership, maybe you're older and you remember some of the older days when Fariko was a huge clan. Lethal had a huge clan. Doom had a huge clan, right? And these are times where social media was just starting out. A lot of people like to say like 2013, 2014 on Twitter like built the COD community. I don't necessarily believe in that. I always felt that the COD community was going to thrive no matter what. I mean, I was in it before there was Twitter or social media at all. I think we had MySpace. We found scrims and IRC chats.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, my
So,
space.
so and also understand like we goof around a lot. If you're gonna if you're ever going to pursue owning your own business, you better like what you do and have fun with it. If you're not having fun and you're just doing it for money, I don't think that's I don't want to. That's not something I would do. Uh, I'm a firm believer in love what you do and you never work a day in your life. So between Austin and I and Nades and a lot of the other members, we goof around a ton. We make jokes. When people hate on us on Twitter, we, just laugh it off and make fun of them because we've been doing this for years. So please don't ever think that like some of the things we say on Twitter makes the organization unprofessional because the practices and policies of the organization
Totally different.
are set in stone. They're totally different, and it's taken care of behind the scenes. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Twitter is an important part of today's gaming industry. because it allows for communication. I mean, I know a lot of COD people understand that, pro teams still to this day in Call of Duty use Twitter to find team scrims.
Yeah.
A lot of people are on Twitter. It allows for, interaction and communication amongst gamers. But just understand, like, we don't put a lot of emphasis on Twitter, and we have a lot of members outside of Twitter. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I really want to say about that. You know what I mean?
All right. Awesome.
We're always going to keep the org and the org Twitter and everything in, on a professional level as possible. But understand, like, on our personal accounts, we goof around, we joke around, we make fun of people, we make fun of ourselves, because we're having fun.
Joke is better, you
And
northerner.
that's why we did this. We're passionate about gaming. That's why we, built our organization and our brand and our community, in a gaming orientation, and we're gonna have fun with it. So
Very
let's
true.
let's have some fun, and we got a lot of topics today.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Let's get after it.
We do have a lot of topics today. So, the topics that we're going to be covering today are primarily the same ones that we've been covering for. It's going to be generally what we were talking about with a little bit of a twist here and there, but we have a lot more, I would say, bulk to each topic. So today it's going to be COD, Fortnite, this, that, and the other. So we're going to jump right on into it with our opening topic, like we do every single week, and it's going to be COD. Probably one of my favorite games. I know HavoK Dylan also loves playing COD, as well as this is the backbone of Shark. He loves Call of Duty. So getting right into it, MLG Atlanta is coming up. So with that being said, do you think that Optic placing top 12 in the previous one, you think we're going to see that again, or do you think TP has actually, gotten a hold of the team? I mean, we've seen them in the LAN League starting out, what was it, 7-0?
Yeah, it's they started 6-1 and lost to Red Reserve, which Red Reserve looks really damn good. They actually really improved. But I don't think the top 12 will affect them in Atlanta. Like they said themselves, that a lot of people have been looking at TK and finding out what they've been doing, because I really think TK was ahead of the curve so far in this game. The first two championships they won, they had the meta down, and the meta changed a couple times. But I really feel like the new meta with the FG, Crim6 running it full time, I think you're going to see a different Optic. And I'm not saying they're going to win it, because TK, Red Reserve still stand there, and they're still really good teams. But I think you'll see probably a top 3 placing.
Okay, definitely. So like you were saying, with the newest update, the newest patch to COD, we see the FG is primarily dominant now. The FG is back, so that's something to always watch out for. So you're gonna have good people. You're gonna have Crim6 running it. Probably who runs it for TK? I forgot. It was Chino that uses it. Yep, Chino uses it. And accuracy.
The new update. The gun's crazy. If you've played COD, if you play ranked, you know the gun's crazy. Even on some maps like London Docks Search and Destroy, you'll see 3 FGs and 1 sniper, or even Optic has run 4 FGs. It's such a good gun that teams are just adapting to everybody using it.
Exactly. If you're not using the FG, you're probably not gonna win any matches. So you got to at least have that primarily dominant person using that FG.
Now, what's the meta now? Is it 2 subs, 2 ARs, or are they still?
It depends on the map, I'd say. If you're running like Flak Tower is like a map where you're gonna run 1 FG and 3 subs. But a map like London Docks is where you're gonna see the 3 FGs come out and 1 PPSH. Or in CTF on London Docks, you might see 4 PPSHs. It's just your play style, how fast you want to play, and yeah. Really depends on maps.
It also depends on the team and the players, because some players can use a PPSH at mid to long range, and some can only use it as a close range. So it all depends on the players and their skill level and how well they can use the gun at their disposal.
Yeah, for sure. A big thing was Optic Formal was actually had a sub in his hand. That was a big talking point, that such a good AR is now running the sub for the team. So that's pretty big.
Yeah, very true. Seeing sub. sub players do it. That's just crazy. Shark.
Stage 1 of the Pro League just happened last week too.
Yeah.
Right. TK lost a few, didn't they?
Yeah, they
TK
got
finished
3.
like 5-3.
To open it up, they got 3-1 by Optic. That was a big thing. Optic, it
Right.
actually wasn't very close. Optic pretty
Optic still
handily
got
beat
100
them.
point clubbed by Red Reserve though.
Yeah, they did. They did. Mind Freak double 100-point clubbed them. You know, just it was actually surprising to see such a team that relied on hard points to win everything. Then they were relying on searches all of a sudden. It was pretty crazy to see.
Right, Mind Freak is definitely a talking point. I mean, they pushed 2 great teams to game 5s in their series. I think they lost them both.
Yeah, they did. They pushed TK to game 5 and Optic to game 5.
So they still lost the series, but anybody,
Even pushing those teams to game 5s, like.
Yeah, exactly. Their
they were
respawn was
clubbing them.
their
in the
respawn was so it was so clean. That's the thing. It was just so clean. Their gunfighting, it was crazy to see
even
that.
their search was good. I mean, I think
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
2 round 11s to determine the series.
I feel like that really proves if you give those guys some American practice, you give those guys some American scrims, they could be a top team. Just they go back to Australia and they don't keep up with these teams. They get so far behind when they go back to Australia, and these teams keep moving forward like every pro team does, and they come in with the same thing and they get smoked.
No, unfortunate. Because I mean, if you think about it, all the teams that are over there that are based, if you look at the servers and what they're playing on, it's hard to argue that any other country is better than North America when it comes to COD, and we've seen that. Just as what we're going to be talking about with Counter-Strike, on the other hand, in a few moments. But North America is always.
I could be wrong, but I don't think EU has ever won an event. However, they did win the Pro League in.
They would. Splice won it. Yeah, Splice won it.
Stage 1.
But I don't think they ever won an event.
No,
I don't believe so. No,
they have
but
not.
They've been close. Like Splice has been in second, multiple times.
I remember that. Who was it? It was Splice versus Optic, I believe, and Optic. Splice came back and beat them first map to push it to the second game of the best of 3, and then Optic closed it out. So I think that was at Dallas, actually.
Where was it? In Champs BO3, I believe one of the finals was Epsilon versus Splice, I believe. I think so. Yeah, one of the finals to get to the Grand Championship versus Envy, I believe, was Epsilon versus Splice.
Yeah, Splice has always been around. They've always been rocking with Jared and Mad Cat. And
that's interesting that you bring up Jared. That Jared couldn't get his visa to go through, so they're gonna have to play with. It's not confirmed yet, so I might be lying to you guys right now, but rumor has it that Felony's gonna be filling in for Jared at the Pro League that starts tomorrow.
And that puts Complexity at a bind, right?
Yeah, that does. Parasite was working with Felony, and they looked pretty good. They were winning a lot of the NA circuit matches, but now you can't blame Felony. He's jumping into the league, and Complexity wasn't in the league, so it's an upgrade for him. So,
yeah, definitely. So with all that being said, do you think that Optic is back to normal? Do you think that TP has actually kicked them in the rear? Like Optic, they're not a top 12 team. They're a top 3 team.
Well at the Pro League, so that's the most recent thing to go off of. So we'll see.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're champs winning form. Definitely not. Optic always around this time gets good. That's their thing. They've always started slow, then they win a couple. So I wouldn't say they're back into form. I just think they need to learn the meta. Once they get their meta down, then they can work on other stuff. I think it's kind of hard for Optic because with the team they have built, with all the championships they have, if they're not getting first, it's a disappointment. So back into form, I would say probably not, but I would say
announce, Nades,
top 3.
Do you know Nades, there's been a lot of talk in Call of Duty about taking some of the map pack maps and putting them in the competitive rotation.
Yeah.
That is true. And
I haven't seen
here's
anything yet, but I
the
mean, and
reason
obviously
why.
they're not going to do it before Atlanta, but
I don't think they will. I heard that
they've
Well,
done
don't
it
be too
before.
surprised because they make updates
They've done
2
it
days
before.
before tournaments. So.
Yeah.
Here's why I think that they might be doing that. When World War II was released, it's a very good game. I think the one complaint that a lot of people had, we bought a game that only had, what is it, 11 maps, and
that's for sure.
that's the lowest map count of any Call of Duty ever released. So, with that being said, obviously Gridiron's been taken out, and now for Search and Destroy really has like all the best maps on it. So when you're looking at your hard points and your capture the flags, there's only what 4 maps, and then you do a ban and protect, and 2 maps or all of them get thrown out, so you're playing with 1 map. So I think there does need to be more maps in there, thrown in the rotation. So with the coming of the new DLC maps, I think if they have made maps that are good enough to they have the lanes, they have everything sorted out and squared away, I think we could see that. So
yeah, I saw some disaster at a Chino.
Dude, it's every game type.
Yeah, London Docks is
honestly.
like, yeah, you just get sick and tired of the same game, and I think that's why a lot of people have, I don't want to say have stopped playing Call of Duty, but they're not playing it as consistent. You've got the same maps, you're doing the same thing over and over and over, and I've seen a lot of talk on Twitter to where, yeah, it's coming from jetpacks to boots on the ground, so a lot of people are happy with that. But with jetpacks, you're not holding a head glitch. You're constantly doing something like this, and you're either jumping, you're wall running, whatever it is. You're constantly doing something. With World War II, I just see a lot of people holding head glitches, and you're just staying there.
Welcome to Boots on the Ground, COD.
Yeah, Boots on the ground.
Welcome to Boots on the Ground.
And that's what it is. And I'm not saying that that's not a good style of Call of Duty, and because it is. That's how it was before, and then it went to something new. I just think it's something.
Here's my thing.
I think they should have
Call
implemented a little bit more.
Call of Duty was successful for a lot of years because they made a game that everyday people can relate to.
Correct.
Okay. They made the modern warfares and they made the older wars, right? But it was all things that people could relate to. With the jetpacks and things and the futuristic stuff, it's not relatable to as many people. So it's just I mean, it was a fun experiment. I hope they never freaking come back, and I don't think they ever will.
Actually, a fun thing about this year was,
and I'm glad that Black Ops 4 is going to be boots on the ground because it's hopefully going to be a lot like Black Ops 2, which in my opinion is still the best Call of Duty of all time.
Yep, and that's what we're gonna get to. So, Dexerto released. I think they were one of the first ones to release that they were.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually them that released it. They got it from an insider working on Call of Duty Black Ops 4 from Treyarch. Anyways, long story short, Dexerto released an article. The next Call of Duty that will be coming out will be a modern-day shooter, probably, I would say, anywhere from 2010 to 2020, kind of around where, Black Ops 2 was. And it's going to be boots on the ground. It's going to be called Black Ops 4. So this is what I want to know from each one of you. Do you think that they should have went with a different title, even though they've had so much success with Black Ops 1, 2, and 3? They've also.
Why would they change the title? I mean, it's
hands
a
down.
Game again.
It's
exactly.
They make zombies. Some of the best zombies came out of the Black Ops series. Yeah. And honestly, the storyline is great. And I'm not sure if they're going to play off the same characters. Who knows what the actual point in time it's supposed to be set at is.
It's modern day, so
it's Black Ops 4.
So it's modern day.
I like the
the interesting part about this is actually
that's actually the game. I mean,
a lot
it's
of
all
insider
speculation still.
A lot of insider came out of Vondahar because he posted on Twitter that he said, "I'm glad my last game got trashed on, Ghost. I'm glad my last game got trashed on because right now I'm making a masterpiece." So a lot of people were saying, Vondahar, he's leading the way for BL4.
Make Ghost.
Did he not make Ghost? I don't know what he meant by what.
That
what
was
game?
Sledgehammer game.
Infinity
Ward.
What's the last game he made? Because he said the last game he made got trashed on.
It's Black Ops 3.
Black Ops 3, really?
But in my opinion, out of all 3 jetpack games, Black Ops 3 was the best.
Yeah, that was the best in my opinion. Advanced Warfare.
See, how can you say
I liked Advanced Warfare. I liked it. Well, here's the thing.
I think the movement was clunky.
I had fun.
I didn't like the movement.
Warfare.
I
I
didn't like
liked
it
the
either.
movement because it was super fast paced. You could push a lane so quickly using the slide and the boosting. I don't know. I had fun with it, even though I really not a fan of having to like shoot up in the air and crap to kill people. I did enjoy Advanced Warfare. Now, when they went to the next game was Black Ops 3, and I did like the idea of like a limited movement. Like I'm glad that they did that.
It was really smooth. It felt so good.
Right. I think where they kind of screwed up was the specialist stuff. I think it ruined it. At least competitively, it did. And
yeah,
I
I understand it to a degree when people like pro players are saying, "I don't want to get heat waved. It's a free kill."
like
You know,
Ghost was probably one of the best. Well, Ghost was Ghost was an awesome competitive game, and the reason for that was there was no score streaks. It was only perk streaks or whatever they called it.
Right.
And that made the competitive awesome because it was pure gun skill wins the game. Well,
when it comes
wins
to
the game, but like there's still strategy and things and teamwork and and playing the map correctly. But the game was pure gun skill. Black Ops 2 streaks were awesome. I mean, it was but
pub stomping streaks.
So do you think? So do you think that Black Ops 2 is still going to be more futuristic than what we're going to see in the next one?
I'm not sure.
I would say they're
doubt
really
it.
similar.
I don't know what.
I think they're going to be really similar.
What's up, Lolo?
It's still all speculation, so
it's going to be interesting though because I want to see what kind of movement they're going to do. Are they going to do some diving? Are they going to do a little bit of a slide?
That's what I've said in like a few of the past podcasts. Was just with World War II. I understand it's boots on the ground, but still with Ghost you had sliding. I still think that sliding should have been a thing. I think the game would have played a lot better if there is sliding.
What, in WW2? Are you saying that sliding would have been?
I think sliding would have been interesting. I think it would have been better. I think if you implement dolphin diving and sliding, just like what I'm pretty sure you could dolphin dive in Ghost.
You could not dolphin dive in Ghost.
You could not. Okay. So I think if you still give us the dolphin dive as well as the sliding ability, I think it would have made the game better, and I think it would have been
both.
Yeah, that's gonna be weird because
you would have to implement it into a separate button.
Yeah.
People are gonna get pissed off when they try to slide and they dolphin dive.
You hit backwards on the left joystick to slide and forward on the right thumbstick, or forward on the left thumbstick to dive. I mean, that would be.
Well, you can't do backwards on the left thumbstick to dive because then you'd be moving backwards. How would you move in a forward direction if you're moving backwards?
Or just click. All right, fine. Click down.
What if you had in each one, in like the infantry class, everything like that? Some of them did slides, some of them did dives.
You can do a trait. I would think that'd be pretty interesting if
so
you
instead of diving, you slid. I think sliding is more effective than dolphin diving.
Yeah, that you would have a lot of people go with slides because it's such an advantage.
Somebody needs to fix that.
What?
We don't have Nightbot still.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he's disbanded us. He's not coming back. I looked it up. I don't understand where he's gone.
Anyway, you guys can always watch reruns of the podcast on our YouTube channel.
Correct.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
So does anyone have any last thoughts on the Black Ops trilogy getting expanded to Black Ops 4 or COD in general?
It's gonna be exciting. Black Ops 4, man.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's gonna be great. We'll see if they continue like the single player storyline of the Black Ops.
I think that'd be cool to see.
I would honestly like to see like another co-op storyline like they did in Black Ops 3.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because then it's not like just playing by yourself and like just grinding out veteran. At least you like get to play it a little bit with some people. Just add like a little degree of difficulty like they do with other games.
I just hope they do right by it. Even though you might hate jetpacks all you want, but BO3 I do believe was a good game, and I do believe every Black Ops game has lived up to its title. So I just hope they keep it going with that.
Yeah, and I can't complain with that.
All right, I kind of want to add something real quick since he just brought up BO3 again.
All right.
Between like going back to what you guys are saying about the jetpack games is like everyone's like, oh, BO3 was such a great game, but then they're like Infinite Warfare was terrible. Like they're kind of copies of each other with the same kind of mechanics and gameplay. They just basically took like a different specialist and put it into Infinite Warfare, and the guns just kill slightly faster in Infinite Warfare because they're like laser beams.
Yeah, it's just
They actually legitimately did shoot laser beams at one.
yeah.
It was like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Dude, the
map system
era
was
that
kinda
that
pretty
disgusting
different.
gun. Yeah.
I think the reason why I like just the Black Ops series a little bit more, they seem more like visually appealing to me. They're more vibrant
Yeah,
with
for
all the
sure.
colors and everything like that. Going from Black Ops 3 to freaking Infinite Warfare was, or not, yeah. It was just sorry, I get my Call of Duties mixed up.
Doesn't matter.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the movements or anything. I'm just talking about like the upfront
Yeah,
like visual
I completely know what you
representation.
mean by
It's
that.
just like
Yeah.
with Infinite Warfare is more dull colors. I know that's more lifelike. Cool. But whenever I'm playing a game, I know it's a game. Like I like to be intrigued to play a certain game. And if it looks
Yeah.
good, then I'm going to be playing it more rather than oh, this looks dull. So,
It had a weird feel, man. It definitely did. It
Yeah.
just had an awkward feel to it.
They should have just never brought it to space. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
definitely.
definitely agree with that.
Definitely.
Right.
All
So
right.
what does that take us into, Nate?
So this is gonna take us into probably one of the best games out right now. Probably gonna win Game of the Year. In
Oh,
in
wow.
my
I wonder
opinion,
what it is.
in my
Just a little
opinion,
bias there.
it's Fortnite. Everyone's played Fortnite. You haven't played Fortnite. You need to get out from under the rock you're living under.
It's
Stop
free.
playing
It's
H1Z1.
free. It's free.
Well, Battle
free.
Royale is
All-
free,
and
not the
all
actual game is
platforms.
free.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I mean.
Nobody plays the Xbox.
Who cares? Nick's just trashing the makers.
Savage
They're
Shark
probably
over
over there
here.
like, that's how we're making our money. Nah, but Fortnite's a great game. So if you keep up with Fortnite, if you play Fortnite at all, it's constantly receiving updates, which I love. A lot of people don't like that, but a lot of people do
Well,
like
it's
it.
been a
No,
little
it needs
fishy
it. It's a brand new
lately.
game.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
needs
look
it-
at
the past
PUBG.
week
They're
has been-
still updating it. like,
It's a
all the time.
great game when it works.
Exactly. Exactly. They released a new update with good ideas, and we're like, all right, cool. But then other stuff that was fixed before, it automatically becomes broken. They're like, oh, okay, let's fix
Basically,
that.
Whenever there's an update, you can't play the game with a squad for at least 4 days.
Exactly. So the podcast that was supposed to be last week that we postponed to this week, we're combining the two. They had a update that came out to where they added the chug jug, and then later this past week they released another mini update that released the minigun. So with the first update and the chug jug being implemented, the chug jug is basically it's a drink that takes 15
keg.
seconds. Yeah, it's a keg.
Yeah. 15
it takes
seconds.
15 seconds to down.
Wow.
Okay, it gives you 100 health and it gives you 100 shield, so full bars. Now, if you think about this, the time to switch in between your inventories, if you had two health potions shield potions, yes, and you had one first aid. The first aid takes 10 seconds to use, and the health pots take 5 seconds. So a total of 20, give or take the other amount of time that it's going to take you to switch between them. So it's definitely faster to get up to 100% on both with this rather than the other ones, but that's if you were at 0 health. So do you think it should have been more like 12 seconds, closer to 10 seconds? What do you think? Shark?
I think it's a good time. Oh, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I think it's a good time.
I'm Shark.
Prof.
I think I've played it. You know, I've kind of been on a different game, and
We'll talk about that one too. We'll talk about that one too.
my Xbox Live has ran out, so but I have played it before.
15 seconds is way too long, okay, Austin? He asked me. He asked me. He asked you. 15 seconds is way
Shut up,
too
Prof.
long.
You're getting muted.
Siri, shut down. Shut down, Siri. Shut.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, you know, 15 seconds is long because I have gotten the chug jug twice, and you know I was drinking the damn thing, and I was like, holy shit, it is 15 seconds long. Like, you didn't realize how vulnerable you are. Like that is.
Well,
That's
in
a long
PUBG, right? Like, you take a med kit, I think, I don't know, what is it, like 9?
9.
I think
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
10
And
actually.
and that puts you at full health.
But it puts you
Like
at full
15
health, but
seconds.
full
holy
shield
crap.
as well.
Yeah, full
So,
shield as
so
well.
let's say this.
Shield and shields in Fortnite is very, very important.
Well, yeah.
Since how strong pump shotgun is right now.
I played.
So what if they implemented? So Shark, what if they implemented a super kit inside of PUBG to where it came with a med kit and level 3 body armor, and it took 15 seconds?
Shields.
So and it took 15 seconds to apply. Would you think that's a good implementation in PUBG?
No, I don't think you should ever put shields in PUBG.
Not shields. I'm talking about like the kit itself. The kit itself.
That's basically what supply drop does.
Yeah, I mean there is a first aid kit that takes like 10 seconds and you can go from like 1 HP to full.
Right. But I'm saying if there was like a kit that came with like a level 3 body armor and equipped it by itself, but it took 15 seconds to put on instead, do you think that would be a good implementation?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you can put on. I mean, you can put on like
instantly.
You know, body armor instantly right now.
See,
So.
like, well, it don't work like that in Fortnite, you biased mofo. I held myself back.
Dude, can you imagine if they put like a SWAT team suit in PUBG? That'd be wild.
Oh man, that'd be great.
But then
that'd
they would
wild.
have to. There would have to be a negative to it though, to where you move like super slow.
We have a set
like
schedule.
the freaking juggernog in PUBG.
Austin, this one's gonna be about 2 hours.
But so I'm just gonna put in my thought of the chug jugs before Austin tries to take my limelight next.
Okay.
Hold on.
So
Hayden, what's up, buddy? He's screaming at Monster Hunter right now. So
we'll get to that later. Stop trying to bring up topics ahead of time.
I'm sorry.
But no, the chug jug, like it's good that it's 15 seconds. Like there's the like if you're gonna have something that strong, you need to have like a
downside to it.
Like a downside. Like there's got to be the plus and the negative. Like with shields and everything, like there's good for both instances to have 2 big shields and a med kit, because you can use them individually with the med kit or the shields, so that you can use them at your leisure to protect yourself if you need to quickly. And then the chug jug, you get full everything, so it's a good thing, but you have to use it at the right time. There's always like that downside.
Is it faster to use the chug jug than to use if you use like a first aid and the?
Yeah, it is.
5 seconds.
It'd be 20 seconds altogether. Yeah.
So, okay.
That's why
like that when you're using it, you think it's faster to use 2 shield potions and a med kit, but in reality, it's actually slower. So.
Yep.
That's why, like, I just think it's a good thing that it's like that, because there's like the good and the bad. There's always a time to use certain things, and there's always a time not to. So it makes you want to like plan more ahead for things before you actually just jump out there and just get shot, basically.
Definitely. And not to mention they're gold, so there's not like a vast amount of them available on the map. Like they're everywhere. They're not.
It's like
getting a chug jug is like
it's like getting a scar. It's almost
getting
like
a scar.
It's
so
almost a scar.
And speaking of getting scars, those things have been very like
they got nerfed. They got nerfed.
Yeah, they got nerfed, but they're all over the map now.
Yeah, they got nerfed. So
we're because there's a common scar. It's called a pump shotgun.
Ladies, don't spray it. Scar is for tapping. Single shots.
Are they removing Bloom? Did we find
Bloom is gonna be fixed whenever they release the what you call it, the custom games. There's still gonna be a little bit of Bloom, but the percentages are gonna drop vastly. So.
I mean, Ironic said, do you think PUBG has a crossbow? You think Fortnite will add it? I don't know. They've added pretty crazy stuff in there, so I wouldn't see why not.
I'd like to see.
A what?
Cool if Fortnite added like a compound.
Like a compound bow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yo, that's what I said. Like season 1 of the not season 1, but episode 1 of the podcast. A bow would be a great, like the explosive arrows from H1Z1. I think that would be phenomenal.
But it doesn't matter what they add to the game anymore, because they made a shark pickaxe.
Yes, they did.
That is amazing.
Let me
like I might have to actually buy the battle pass now just so I can have that pickaxe.
You don't have to buy the battle pass.
You don't have to.
You buy it in the store.
You buy it with V-Bucks.
Even better.
Oh,
Even better. It's still a free game.
Whoa.
Yep.
He's gonna do that while we're doing the podcast now.
I'm going to my bank account. So, you know, like a crossbow, I think would be a very good implementation. I think it should, kind of like what's in PUBG.
Yeah.
A compound bow, or do you think a
would be
crossbow?
much better. I think compound bow.
Because if you do a crossbow, it's kind of almost like the grenade launcher in a sense. It'd be.
You could implement it like on PUBG though.
Yeah, and you know what? Fortnite does like its explosives in their game, so they probably would do crossbows with like explosive tips.
And what's this new silenced weapon that's being brought in?
The what do you mean? I don't know.
They're in chat, because I like to answer chat, so they're talking about a new silenced weapon brought in.
The only ones that I know of is
he's saying that that's gonna be the new silent gun in his opinion. Like they're speculating a new gun being introduced that's silenced. In my opinion, if they do bring in another silenced gun, I think it's gonna be a silenced AR or a silenced SCAR. I think that would be the way to go rather than putting a crossbow in there, because then that's a whole different topic. That's a whole different. You gotta add stuff.
That's too OP, man.
I think either do the crossbow explosives.
AR is too OP, dude.
Too AP.
I think.
Armor piercing.
So
Listen,
what if you took the?
birthday.
What if you took the? Okay, so we have the grenade launcher. So obviously, whenever there was updates to the game, obviously with the with like the snowy, it shot snowballs. So what if you just had an update to the game that turned the grenade launcher into a explosive crossbow? So it's gonna take some characteristics of the gun away, like the bouncing, obviously, but then again, you're gonna have something that is gonna have a scope, so you're gonna be able to aim it, and it's gonna hit.
Walls and stuff
Do
like
they
that?
have a
Would it, like,
sticky
if you
grenade?
shot
No, once it hits, it explodes.
See, that's what I was getting at, Nick. Like, would it stick to stuff? Like, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
like,
because they don't have a sticky grenade yet, so.
No, that would be cool. That would be really cool.
Like if
Yo,
you
thanks for
shot
the
it
follow,
at
Nick.
someone's, if you shot it at someone's forehead, like you could stick it.
I mean, they have traps in their game, right? So.
Oh, I do like that. I like a C4 idea.
Would be pretty epic. You could plan it.
Yo, C4 would be great, and it like beep whenever it goes off, whenever there's an enemy near it, beep beep, and you just click a button.
Games, hire us. We have all the best ideas.
Yo,
just get some
Nades.
like bouncing betties.
How's it going, Zephyr?
Yo, Nades, let me ask you something.
All right.
So, like, I saw a developer for Fortnite. They were talking about, like the new updates coming, and somebody mentioned something about automobiles, and he said never rule it out, but we would definitely go through it. Do you think that would ruin the dynamic of Fortnite?
I do not, because I do not think that they're gonna add an actual automobile. I think they're gonna add a way of transportation via.
We're not gonna put in vehicles in it.
Yes.
Yo, do you guys remember those like?
I think it might be a bike.
Do you guys remember those stupid like? Scooters yeah, the Razor scooters that came out.
I'm done,
dude. If
I
saw
all the best ideas,
I saw a character riding a Razor scooter through like Pleasant Park,
tail whip that shit.
I'd rather get some Heelys instead.
No, well, the game is kind of like, I mean, it's still, I guess, technically a violent game because it's guns and shooting people, but it's
rated T, so
like
yeah.
Younger, a younger crowd.
I mean, look at World of Warcraft; it's the same.
And I think if they did like a scooter, that would be hysterical.
Oh man, that'd be great! Like a
motor-powered
scooter. No, you can't shoot on the scooter. Are you crazy?
So I want
What if they put hang gliders at the top of like mountains, like Far Cry does?
Ooh, I don't mind that.
You've got the jump.
Hang glider.
You've got the jump pad though.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd have two implementations of one thing though.
See, what I think is if they were to implement like a vehicle, if they were to ever implement a vehicle system,
yeah, it's too small of a map.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They would have to make the map a lot bigger. Like PUBG's map is massive compared to Fortnite.
Exactly.
So
And
if
so is
they're gonna
H.
do anything with vehicles, they would
Yeah.
need to make the map probably 3 times as large.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If you
dude,
look
I
at,
want a bicycle. Give me a pump, dog.
that's what I'm
Hop on the
saying.
bag.
You think,
Hold the gun over the shoulder.
like, you know how cool that would be? Like, okay, so you find, like, in
Dig that.
solos, you just find a regular bike. In duos, the bikes have 2 seats. In squads, the bikes have
That's
4
that
seats.
bicycle.
Dude, you know how cool that would be? That would be amazing, man. I would
Better get it, like-
lose my mind if I saw
I
that.
better get an egg basket with a little bell on the front.
See,
Yeah.
if they did a bike though, they would have to do something like PUBG with the gasoline, like have like a
Look
bike
at
pump to like,
Shark.
pump up the tire, or like
Just 4 people in a line.
no.
Dude, could you
Hey,
imagine the
hey,
clips of snipers just hitting one person going right through all of
Yo,
them and the
dude,
bike
no,
just pink?
no. What you would need to do is like how they have the buggy with like the little seat on the back for PUBG. You would need
Oh
like a
my
bike
God.
with like pegs and like one guy on the pegs,
Hey,
Alright,
And
that
then
would
moving
be
on.
good.
or
We,
riding on the
we
handlebars.
gotta move on.
minigun.
So, I mean, it's a good time to move on because there is another teaser that's coming out. So, Fortnite did release on Twitter. They said, hey guys, what do you think about outlines to come in the next update? So, basically, what they're talking about is whenever you're playing duos or squads, how it is with H1Z1. I'm not sure if it is with PUBG or not. I don't think it is. But to where you can actually see the outlines of your teammates through walls. So it's like
I like
an
that.
actual line.
Yeah, definitely.
And
like
they
that.
have a lot of good feedback on it. There was some negativity on that because then they're like, oh, well, then that just, that ruins, like, the reality of the game. But then I'm sitting here thinking, like, this isn't a reality type of game. This is
Nah,
a
dude.
very cartoon-like game. So I think it would be a great implementation.
I
Names
could
above the
definitely see
head.
your complaint. Yeah.
But the thing is, sometimes the names above the head, for example, Shark, I recall last time we played, he thought it was me running down a tunnel because the name was above the guy's head, but it wasn't me.
Right.
Mhm.
That happened to me too. When you were in the clock tower, you fell, and the name was above the dude's head, and I thought it was you, and I turned around and got shot in the back.
Yeah.
That
I
happened with me
definitely
and Nate
agree.
the other day
Thank
too.
God though, in PUBG though, so after the last patch, before the most recent one, which was a couple days ago in PUBG, if you disconnected from the game, like DC'd or whatever, you were able to rejoin the game. But after that last patch, there was a glitch where if you rejoin the game, your name wouldn't be on the over your head or anything for your teammates.
Oh, God
And
bless.
yeah, and that was
Oh,
awful.
God.
Like
Man,
it-
people would
it-
shoot you.
Oh yeah, I killed so many of my friends and they were so mad. It's just like, dude, don't DC, I guess. Like
Also, I wish they
But
bring
they
back
did-
Need
they
better
did-
internet connection.
they
I
did
don't
fix
like
it
the
back
non-team
in the
damage
last
in
patch,
Fortnite
so
anymore.
that's
You don't like
good.
the
And
non-team
and
damage?
they
This is what
also-
I think. Let
They
Shark
also
go.
banned a million accounts permanently banned. Over a million last month.
Permabanned.
PUBG, they're done. So hopefully they keep it up.
Was it a ban on just the account, or was it a VAC ban?
I don't know if it's
Where
hardware ban.
if it was
It's
an
probably
IP
a
ban?
back
Was it
Yeah,
an
it's
IP
VAC.
ban?
It's VAC.
Okay.
Steam don't play around. It's back.
Okay. Cool. Well, then that fixed that problem. I'm sure that there's still going to be
They've been
people
doing
out
that
there,
with a
but
lot of different games too. It's been crazy. Like Blizzard's been doing that a lot with Overwatch when it was first out.
Mhm.
They VAT banned like fucking. I think it was like 2 million accounts in like the
Yep.
first month.
that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. But with going back to that, like, I think the outline would be a good thing. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
definitely.
advantages. There's a lot more advantages than there are disadvantages to that. And I'm sure that, whenever you're playing the game and you're actually on your team, to be able to see the outline, it's a good thing. But then again,
Yeah.
like, all your enemies can do the same thing. So
I could see the complaint like about like a game like Call of Duty if you put outline that where it's like, well, this isn't realistic. You lost your feel. But Fortnite, like
it's not a realistic
point.
game. It's kind
It's
of
a
like a fantasy
cartoony
type
game.
game.
it's
Yeah,
the
it's
complete
cartoon.
point.
I mean, if it was realistic, you wouldn't be able to like pull wood out of your ass and like build a ramp up to a mountain.
Yes, exactly.
True, very true. So then Austin mentioned a good point. A lot of people don't like the fact that you can't team kill. This is how I think that they should make the implementation. We'll go round table, see what everyone thinks about this. if you guys know that they released a patch a long time ago, I'd say probably over a month and a half ago, to where you cannot team kill anymore. It used to be a thing, but now it's not a thing, and they've all asked, is it good, is it bad, anything like that. It's good for the fact that if you're playing with everybody, if you accidentally shoot a grenade or throw a grenade, it's not going to kill your teammates. But then again, if you solo queue inside of a squad and someone steals your
Don't take my
gun,
scar.
someone's
Don't
gonna
take
shoot
my
you or you're trying to shoot someone. I think a good implementation of this would be, you can't actually kill the person, but you can get them down to 25% health. I think that would be a good implementation. So
I like that.
where you're not actually gonna be thrown out of the game, and you can't be, wiped off the map because of that. However, if something happens and someone pisses you off or something like that, you can still take your anger out on them and show them,
Yeah,
hey,
Austin.
bud, don't do that or anything like that.
I
So
told you, dude, I use a scar. Don't take it. What do? Runs over in the middle of a gunfight and takes the scar to the guy that is killed. What did I do? Power button on the Xbox.
So do you think that would be a good implementation, Austin, or would you like it to where you could just totally wipe them?
I would just rather, if you're gonna put in the outline of the character, then put team damage on, and you should be able to kill them. Because if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. That's your own fault. It's your teammate's fault. Whatever.
True.
PUBG has this, I believe, has team shooting on. Don't
They
run in
do.
front of the lane. So you run in front of your guys shooting, like that's so be it. It's your own fault. You got dinked.
Dang.
Doesn't matter. PUBG's better.
It is. It really is.
All right, moving on.
Next topic. A game that I didn't think that I was gonna like. I do like.
Minigun.
Oh, the minigun. Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't even talk about that. We skipped right down the outline.
It's super
The
overpowered.
minigun. So yeah, all that needs to be said about the minigun is super overpowered. It needs to get nerfed really, really quick. Anyone else have any input on that?
No, except it takes a second. You build a base, you got a minigun. Bases
We played yesterday. Who was it? It was me, Lucifer, and Fortune. We all three had miniguns. This one poor dude.
I wasn't with you on that.
Oh no, it was me. Who was it? It was me, Fortune, and one other guy. But
yeah, you replaced me.
we had 3 miniguns, and this poor guy was trying to build up, and we just laid into him with 3 miniguns.
Yeah, man.
It's not even fair.
It destroys walls.
It's not even fair.
Do what? 17 damage to each shot to the person, right?
Yep, 17 damage, but it shoots like 900 rounds a second. 900 rounds a minute.
Is there a critical shot? Like if you hit someone in the head with it? Is there
Yeah, it's still
like 42 damage, I believe.
It's the same mechanics as a submachine gun. However, you never have to reload it. As many bullets as you have in your inventory, that's what shoots. It takes 2 seconds to warm up, which is the downside to it.
Small bullets. Like the most common bullets you'll find is small bullets. So you're gonna
for weapons that you will never use.
Yep.
Late in the game.
And it's not like you
The
where you have to
purple
tap.
people is amazing, by the way.
Exactly. You know how you have to tap most guns in this game? No, you just hold the trigger down. It's going where it wants to go. It's one of the most accurate guns in the game.
I don't know what you've been doing, but majority of the guns, if you just hold the trigger down, shoot.
Well, they do shoot, but they don't shoot accurately with the bloom. With the bloom. That's why I always tap. So. All right. So the game that has had me and Austin probably preoccupied the most here lately.
Don't bring me into this one, I guess.
And Lucifer.
Dude, I just want to say something real quick. Austin has like over 100 hours in the game already.
Don't tell people these things.
I think he's up to like 140 hours into this game. And the game's been out like a week.
It's been out a week and 3 days. Okay, give me a break.
So Monster Hunter.
So what is this game?
It's Monster Hunter. You hunt
Dude,
monsters.
I haven't.
It's great.
I'm not gonna lie. I have not seen a video or anything.
5 minutes of it this morning.
It's super
It's
difficult.
great. It's made by Capcom.
Like, is it single player?
Oh, it's multiplayer.
It's both.
It's both.
Okay.
Yeah, it's both.
Up to a party of 4.
It kind of looks like God of War. To me.
Kind of.
It's a mixture between a couple games. It is basically you could say an open world dungeon crawling game. Because there are certain zones, and the only way to go to these zones with people in a group would either be in a quest, and then after the quest is over, you can stay in that zone and go on an expedition, which means You can stay there as long as you want. You can die as much as you want for materials. Kill mobs. Mobs respawn. They leave the locale is what it's called, or new monsters come into the locale. Everything is farmable pretty much.
This man's said God of War.
God of War. There are monsters get harder the harder you level up, of course. So you could kind of say it's more like Destiny 2 in a type way. You have your main hub where you go and you do your things, upgrade weapons, eat at the canteen for health and buffs and stam, and then you have like your stash box, which is your bank. But so far, this game is absolutely amazing.
It's very
So
good.
what is this game like a new wave, or is this just something you guys have been on?
I would say
Monster Hunter's
it's
been around for a while.
it.
Like I said, this is my first Monster Hunter game. There are people in the chat that have played Monster Hunter and they know a little bit more about it. But Monster Hunter, the community is actually a really big community.
Yep.
There's no actual like multiplayer, like fighting each other arena style. It's more of a multiplayer co-op.
Yeah, I just never
Everybody's
have seen
playing
like video or anything of it. I don't think I might have seen video of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think I've ever heard of Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it's been around since PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The highest rank you can achieve is Monster Hunter rank 100. And then after that, it is G rank, which is going to be implemented probably on the new DLC.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, Monster Hunter started back in 2000.
Hold up. Hold up.
So what are you, Austin? What are you grinding to?
100.
You're 100 already?
No. I'm level 29. So after you defeat the game, the story mode, you are Monster Hunter rank 25, and the last boss go to Monster Hunter rank 29. Now after that, there is still quests. The story mode is over, but there are still quests and assignments to do. Now, I don't know if there's going to be new monsters coming in, but I know they get harder. They're like Arc, for example, where you have regular mobs and you have like Alpha mob. That's kind of what it is. I haven't gotten any further yet. I've just been grinding out materials and playing my heart out on this game. So
It's a very grindy game. So basically, all the monsters, once you get Austin's level, it takes about, I would say, a good 30 minutes just to kill them. Like, they're absolutely ridiculous on how to kill these things. And not to mention, if you're under leveled like I am, because I've been forced into where I am in the game, I'm rocking around with bone armor, where I'm probably supposed to have some sort of hierarchy armor, whatever it's called.
Hold up, you're still wearing bone armor?
I'm still wearing bone armor, and I'm and I'm in like 6 stars. And if anyone's played Monster Hunter and you know what 6-star quests are, like I'm still wearing bone armor because I've been like fastly leveled. So it's ridiculous how hard it is to kill things and how easy you can get one shot.
Like
Yeah, Linguini
No,
did
it was
not go
Linguini.
down without a fight. Okay. My pronunciation of
you.
dinosaurs in this game is atrocious, and that's definitely okay. We get a good laugh out of it. But overall, the game is fun to me. It kind of reminds me of Skyrim, and a lot of people are like, "What?" But if you think about it, it's open world, so you're traveling around, so you don't have to stay in like one hub. It's a big map, so you can go wherever you want to, kind of like in Skyrim. You can fast travel places. Everything that you kill has stuff that you can get from it. You build armor. You can eat food. You build weapons. There's a lot of aspects that are like Skyrim. So I think that's why it is so appeasing to me. Just because Skyrim was very appeasing to me. I think that was one of the games that I streamed a lot.
There's no set race. It's one race, and you have 16 different ways to choose from at any given time.
Exactly. So I mean, it's a great game. So I mean, there's really no gunk to the game. Obviously, we found something that's extremely overpowered in the game. We're not going to talk about, but it's probably going to get patched soon if it's not already been patched. But I mean, overall, just how it came out and how I've been playing it. It's not like any bugs, like I just killed this thing and I got shot through a tree or I went flying somewhere. Like you can fly in the cars in PUBG or anything like that. It's a sound game. So
Yeah,
I was very happy with it. You know,
it
it's
definitely seems like they took their time on it, and they didn't rush it or anything, and it came out to be a great game and no server issues at all so far that we've noticed.
That's a big thing.
It all works perfectly fine. No glitches to where you're like falling through the ground and like an H1Z1 where when you land, or anything like that. Like nothing
Yep.
is too glitchy or anything. There's some broken farming things that you can do to cheat the game a little bit. But I like though how they have like the Palico, who's like your support pet in it, to where you can set it up to either like give you health or strength buffs or whatever.
Yeah.
It's definitely a great aspect of the game. A lot of crafting things that you can do. And Nades is back. But no, there's like a lot of crafting and everything, and there's different armor that you can craft. And when you get further into like where me and Austin are, you have two different variants of each armor, and they look slightly different. So there's that aesthetic part. Every single weapon has like a massive upgrade tree that you can go with, and like paralysis, poison, water, whatever, all the different elements in the game. And it also brings, when you get farther, your weapon changes its look, and it's a very aesthetically pleasing game as well.
It is. It really is. It's a lot to wrap your head around, but once you learn it, it's like there's so much stuff to do. Like you're gonna spend hours upon hours just getting better at the game and just leveling up. I mean, I'm sure Austin's put in like a
So
lot
is
of hours.
World
So
of
is Lucifer,
Warcraft.
but it's like they're probably not even at the highest tier armor, and they
That
still got a
sounds
Oh, I'm
lot
like
of
a
not even
World of
grinding to
close.
go.
Warcraft addiction game,
The
dude.
lower tier monsters, their actions and their patterns are different from upper tier monsters. So like you may
Is this
learn how to
game
fight.
like World of Warcraft?
No,
Are
No.
you grinding gear and doing quests? Like that's what it sounds like.
maybe.
Oh no, no.
Oh no.
We're done talking
No.
about that game. Don't play it. It's awful. It'll ruin your
No,
life.
it's nowhere near World of Warcraft.
No, I'm just
This isn't RuneScape we're talking about here. Calm down.
Meet me in the wild.
So obviously,
Wait,
it it has its own audience to it, obviously, because it's been around since PlayStation 2. So it's got its audience, but this is what
We're
I
new
want to
here.
know.
Yeah.
Sorry,
This is
we're
what I
new.
want to know from you guys. Just seeing what games are popular nowadays and hold an audience. Obviously, you have CS:GO, you got Fortnite's holding its audience. Call of Duty has been holding a little bit of its audience, but definitely not where it used to be. Um, you know, do you think that this is going to be one of those games that's going to hold an audience? Obviously, whenever it first came out, just like any new game that comes out, obviously on Twitch, the viewership for it and how many people were playing it was up there. Do you think it's going to hold its audience, or do you think it's going to be kind of like RuneScape to where it's not streamed as much, but it still has a big backing of an audience behind it that's going to stand there?
I mean, it's all up to the community, to be honest. Like you said, right now it is new, and I'm a Cutie Pie is actually playing a lot right. He's supposed to be playing League of Legends. He's the highest paid streamer in the world right now. Well, besides I just Soda Poppin. I thought it was bigger. I forgot. He makes more money than I'm a Cutie Pie, but I'm a Cutie Pie plays it a lot. So it just all depends on the fans and the community to whether they want to keep it going or not. And obviously, the game looks phenomenal, and they're only going to add new stuff into it. So I would
Right.
assume it's going to keep its buzz. At least for me, for now, it is.
So that's another talking point. Do you think that there's gonna be room for big DLC? Do you think it's gonna be a big DLC upgrade to where it's gonna double the map, or do you think it's just gonna be a little bitty upgrades here and there?
I'm sure they'll add in extra zones because, as I was talking with Fletcher or HavoK ESports, he's a huge Monster Hunter player. In the previous games, they had like a lot more elements, like map elements. Like for example, there's a lava zone. There's no like cold zone. Maybe they can implement swimming, which is not in this game and has been in the previous ones. Definitely, probably more armor, more monsters,
I
different
think like an
items.
ocean biome would be pretty cool to where there's
Yeah,
like
that would
underwater
definitely be
monsters
cool.
and stuff like that. Certain armor that lets you breathe
And also,
underwater.
the
That'd be
rank,
cool.
they're going to add G rank in the future as well.
Yeah.
So, and I think they did state that it is going to be free. But don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure.
Definitely. So it's a regularly priced game, $60 just like all other games. If
It's
you
a
do have the
15.
money for it and you want to get into a game that's grindy, definitely do recommend it. It's a very good, very well-rounded game.
And we do have a guild on PlayStation 4, so if you
Yep.
want to join us, man.
Yep. So me, Austin, Lucifer, and a lot of other guys in HavoK all have a guild going. So definitely join us up.
Okay,
We'll
next
You
play
can
with
see
you.
how much I know about.
Next topic, H1Z1 is still dead.
H1Z1 is still dead. Owned by Sony. Owned by Sony now. Sony
Next
does have rights
topic,
to it.
CS:GO.
Well, then it probably will stay dead if Sony owns it. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. I think they just were trying to be helpful. But anyways, before we get into CS:GO,
Let's go talk about important stuff again.
before we talk about CS:GO, MLG Orlando is in February for Halo. Austin, do you want to put a little bit of input for that?
Well, Optic is not number one.
That's a fact.
It is. This is going to be the make it or break it for Halo competitive scene, I believe.
Yeah. So
Price pool is only $50,000, and I'm sure that was either 343 is doing, maybe MLG put up a little bit, and they usually, of course, World Championship is $1 million. So you got 1, 2, 3, I believe 3 or 4 LAN events, and then a LAN qualifier, and then Worlds coming. This, like I said, is the make it or break it event for Halo. It all depends if the community shows up. You know, that's always been a big thing in the past, or especially recently. In the past, you know, Halo H2A and the beginning of Halo 5, community, they just, you know, only maybe 64 teams show up to a major LAN tournament, and hopefully this is going to revive, you know, Halo, because you guys know Halo is.
Didn't you have to qualify to show up though?
It just if okay, so how it works, it's not, COD doesn't do this, but Halo, if you do the online qualifiers, and I guess how they do it now, how it used to be, you have to be top 64, you get a reserve team pass, and then the rest of the team passes go on sale to the public. Now,
That's what COD should do.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I believe it's just whoever has top 64 and pro points get reserve team passes, and then the rest of the team passes go on sale to the public. I don't know if it's going to be sold out or not. I haven't seen the numbers, but as I've seen on Twitter, there are a lot of roster jockeying once again. Halo has always been one of those games where just teams can't stick together, and I don't understand why. What's going on? Because you know we'll have teams hit us up, and then next week later they're all 4 of them are on a separate team. So I'm really excited. I can't wait, and I really hope they come out with a huge showing the Halo community to prove to MLG that you know it wasn't a waste of time picking them up. How it goes right now is Splice is in 1 seed right now. They've won 3 online qualifiers, which is most. They're sitting at 30,000. Optic is 2, sitting at 24,000. Envious actually picked up a team and is now back in Halo again.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and it's Saiyan, Trippy, Boo Boo Doo, and I Got Your Pistola. So they went with I Got Your Pistola. They're sitting in 3rd place. Prosody, I can't pronounce that. They're sitting in 4th, which you know that's the team I'm rooting for. Mentality
Let's
Esports.
go, McWin.
Yep. A Spartan and Penguin and Snipe Down are actually on his team as well. So I like all those guys. Mentality Esports, which I have never heard of any of these guys, which is really crazy. Instinct is back, which is an old Halo 3 Pro team. One of the twins came back with Lunchbox is one of the twins, and they're back in 3rd place. 7th is Straight Rippin', and 8th is Duo with Straight Sick, Prototype, Rain, and Brian. And all those teams qualified for Orlando, which I'm assuming that those top 8 teams have qualified for the pro bracket or champ bracket, and every other team's going to have to fight open. So I'm trying to find. You still can't find it. How many teams assigned? Halo is probably the hardest game to look at to try to find out information about. I was searching for 30 minutes to try to find it. Really excited to see what's going to happen. So hopefully they come out and
definitely anytime MLG picks up something, you definitely have to impress them. So let's just hope that you know the community shows up and Halo is actually gonna turn into something in the upcoming years. Again, yep. Again.
That's what started MLG.
So, Mr. Noise Complaint over here.
It's Cloud9! Cloud9, right? I need your clap.
All right.
He's playing
So we're
Monster.
gonna move into something that we talked about on season 1 a lot. Just because whenever we started the podcast, our very first season, it was really relevant. Just because a lot of it was happening is CS:GO. We really haven't talked about it much in this season. Now we can because obviously tournaments have happened. Not to
C9,
mention
baby.
a lot of crazy stuff has happened too. So we're gonna get right on into it. So SK, one of the, it was the team that was supposed to win. Correct me if I'm wrong.
SK.
Yeah. It, who's gonna win? Everyone. That was who was gonna win. They lost. They lost. So
They lost 3-2 to C9.
yes.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yes. So C9 is one of those teams. Obviously, they're good. They got Stewie 2K on there. And Stewie, has had a great past in CS:GO. Also, there's a lot of speculation. Does he cheat? Yada yada yada, everything like that. But Stewie's a really good player on there. You got Skadoodle. So it's a very solid team as a whole. So for them to come out and beat SK, definitely it wasn't like overlooked. There was definitely a possibility, but whenever you break it down on paper, SK all day. That's what everyone thought. C9 came out and absolutely blew everyone's expectations, beating SK, going against FaZe in the finals.
By the way, FaZe is the highest paid esports team in the
How much do they make?
Entire
Let's just-
world.
CS:GO?
I don't know how much they make, but
I know they
that-
spent $500,000 just to acquire the one
just
player.
$500,000 just to acquire one player.
Damn.
Yeah, Hiko got a $500,000 signing bonus with
No,
freaking
it
FaZe.
was.
No, it was $500,000 for Nico just to.
For Nico, yeah, not Hiko. Sorry.
Not including Nico played for.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
they have an amazing roster. For those of you who don't know, FaZe is EU for Counter Strike. They are NA for everything else. And they were definitely one of the favorites going into the tournament. They won 3 of the last 6 majors going into this tournament. Went through pool play undefeated. Went through their stages, their bracket, winners bracket, all the way through, won. And then everyone thought C9 was going to lose. C9 started off the tournament 2. So how it goes in pool play, if you lose 3 matches in a qualifier, you're done and you don't get to continue in the major. So lose 3 matches, you go home. C9 started off the tournament with 2 losses off the start, and their third match was to play Virtus Pro. As we know, Virtus Pro last season was a predominant team all season long
With Australias.
with Australis, and they have completely fallen off the face of the earth. And C9 went in, played, like I said, FaZe, which has Rain, Kerrigan, Nico, Ulfmeister, and Guardian. Probably the best sniper in the entire world. I sent Jonas a couple clips, nades, excuse me, to see, to show him what Guardian can do, and
Crazy. He's crazy.
He was a problem for C9 the entire map or entirety of the series. They said if Guardian second round, everyone else is rocking pistols, they would buy opt for Guardian, just to apply that pressure.
He's the Pomage of CS:GO.
And what happened is they went down to a game 3. It went into double overtime, which has never happened in a major. And C9 came out on top and got America's first ever major win.
Yeah, no, that's insane.
That's huge.
I don't know if you guys pay attention or anything, but Americans are not very good at Counter-Strike. We really haven't ever been. We've always kind of been that maybe a quarterfinal team, never make it to semis. But finally, we can say to all, because I don't know if you guys look at this chat, there was 1.3 million viewers in the this game.
Yep.
So
that was crazy.
Yeah.
That's the
So
most
many
I've
people
ever seen in
watching.
a Twitch stream.
Yeah,
So.
there's so many people were watching. The chat was like skipping blocks and paragraphs of people. Just how many people were talking.
Yeah, and for those who don't know Counter Strike, like myself, I do not know too much about it. I saw a reporter put it into Call of Duty terms for us COD nerds. He said that Cloud9 winning that tournament was pretty much like a French team winning COD champs.
Which is not gonna happen.
America.
America. And you should see the chat on CS:GO. It's nothing but EU is greater to say.
Mm-hmm.
We finally shut up all the haters.
COD's even more cancerous. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Counter Strike's pretty cancerous.
They were pretty loud. They were pretty loud.
It's just sad. The more love you get with something, the more cancerous it's gonna be. People defending what they love. You know, it's just what happens.
And it was even more sweet that they won the U.S. home soil because the crowd was legitimately chanting USA the entire time C9 played every single. That is probably the loudest. Like I know I wasn't there personally, and I was watching it on Twitch, but the crowd was louder than the commentators. You couldn't even really hear the commentators. The arena was so loud. Like I can't wait because DreamHack's coming to Austin. I'm going to that Counter Strike event. It may not be a major; it's an invitational, but I'm going, and I'm gonna paint my chest red, white, and blue.
What's the date? What's the date?
It's January. I think it's in March. Coming up in March.
See, all I know is I was talking to Austin during it, and I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear myself think with him screaming at the top of his lungs while watching it.
Yeah. Austin was getting into it. I was watching it at work, and that was crazy. It was crazy. Like when it was happening, I was like, I was just so zoned in. I had to like walk back to my office, and I just had to sit there and watch it because I was just like so hyped. I've never really.
I got a noise complaint for the first time ever here because I don't know if you me. I'm always screaming. But my cousin over here, he was in Louisiana at the time, and he called me. He's like, "Holy crap, what's happening?" He got a noise complaint as well for screaming so loud. So Hayden gets just as loud as I do. We love Counter Strike, so it's really enjoyable to watch. Now, on side note, our Open and IM teams, they've started off a little rough this season. I don't think we've won a game yet, unfortunately, but hopefully the second.
I thought it was a main team. Am I wrong?
No, we have an Open and an IM.
Okay.
So what happened to our team that was there last year? Did they just quit or?
They disbanded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Unfortunate.
Hopefully, all they have to do is get top 32 in the and they get to move to the move up. So hopefully they can get this stuff together. I've talked with both teams. I like both. They're super funny guys. They're really down to earth, and I wish nothing but the best for them. And hopefully they can strategize, beat some of these harder teams.
Wish the best for them. Hopefully we can come away with top 32. That way we can continue in it. So that gets us back to that final game. Who actually won MVP, Austin? Was it
Skadoodle Noodle? Hey, Skadoodle Noodle won MVP, right? Yep, Skadoodle won MVP.
So do you believe that Skadoodle should have won it, or do you think Stewie, or who do you think?
That's a toss up because how it is, Counter Strike is a very team based game, but when you're an opera, you are the X factor of the team. All eyes are on you. Because if you're hitting your shots, then your team can apply pressure. If you're not hitting your shots and you're missing your op shots, that is a very, very big downfall. And in all honesty, I think Guardian should have won MVP and they lost. So he was clutching it up for FaZe tremendously. And but Skadoodle definitely. I don't know if you guys seen the press conference of him. He couldn't even speak. He didn't know what to say. He was crying. He was proud that they finally brought a championship to America the first time. So hats off to C9. Hats off to Skadoodle for getting that MVP.
Yeah, definitely. So in my mind, I think just watching the final match, like, believe me when I say this, I know nothing about CS:GO. So just watching the final 3 games that were played, FaZe versus C9. Just in all, Guardian definitely was pulling everything together for FaZe. But I think as a whole between all 3 games, I still think Stewie over over Skadoodle should have gotten it because in my opinion over MVP, yeah, the last game is going to be looked at the most, but if you look at it as a whole, I still think that Stewie outperformed Skadoodle as a whole.
For either or. And
Yeah.
unfortunately for FaZe, if Ulfmeister didn't show up, I don't know what was going on with Ulfmeister. Ulfmeister is probably one of the best fraggers in the game. And he definitely had a slow showing, and if it could have been
Nothing popping there.
No, it could have. Would have probably been a different outcome. Heated up a little bit.
Definitely.
Those are some of, like I said, the biggest names in the team. That dream team.
So has Cloud9 taken the rank number 1 yet, or?
No, just because they've only major, so
right.
FaZe is still considered the best team in the world.
Right. Okay. Definitely. That's gonna move us into org news. Pretty much the same stuff that we've been saying for the last 3-4 podcasts now. So stream requirements are still the same. If you want to join the team as a streamer, please see one of the 3 that you see on screen right now, either Shark, Prophecy, or myself. If Shark is busy, which he probably will be, he's a very busy man, you can always reach out to myself or Prophecy. Prophecy is going to be getting a full-time job here coming up soon, so he'll probably be a lot more busier, so a lot of people are going to be reverting to either myself, Visco, or some people that we're going to be putting into effect here soon. So if you don't know us, get to know us. Very friendly people. We love joking around and everything like that. Me and Austin were talking about this yesterday. A lot of people have asked me, DMs wise and everything. They're like, how did you get there? How did you get so many followers on Twitch? Everything like that. And it's not because of anything other than just helping HavoK as a whole. So whenever I look at it, it's nothing special that I really did. It's just I wanted to be part of an organization, and then whenever I got into the organization, I was like, okay, how can I be the best possible? And what other way to do that than to be involved with the 2 owners? So, I'm highly involved with both of the individuals above me. I respect the hell out of both of them. So definitely, if you guys do want to get part of a great organization, please do see any one of us. Also, anyone looking to move up to help with HavoK as a whole, I'm sure there's lots of things that can be done. Always ask Prophecy or Shark. I'm sure that they've got little things that you can help them out with that would mean the world to them. You might not think so, but in reality, it really does help out a lot. Yeah, it helps out a lot. So, even if it's just, can you take tally on something, or can you go and do this for me? Can you get this number for me? Whatever it may be, it might seem like a small task to you, but in their eyes, it's gonna mean a lot more than someone who's just sitting around and not doing anything for the org. And that's gonna get you more respect inside of it. Also, if you're outside and that's what you've been doing for your organization, you want to join on, like what Lucifer did, join on as as one of the managers, then definitely reach out to us as well. We're always looking for that. Other than that, members news, top 5 came out. Who was the number 1 clip this week?
It was Danny.
Yeah, it was Danny.
Yep. That Destiny 2 hammer throws. That was nice.
That was crazy.
He cleaned the whole team with the hammer throws.
I claimed number 2.
Yes, you did.
My shotgun 4.
Dude, I was screaming for you. I was like, whoa! Dude, your shotgun's OP, bro.
Yeah, I was telling everybody that gun is just ridiculous.
What is it, a 12 gauge?
It's the new shotgun. Yeah, it's a 12 gauge shotgun. It's the new like before in PUBG, everybody really liked the break action double barrel shotgun. Yeah. That one did a lot of damage, but I swear by that 1897.
That thing.
The third kill was amazing. I picked his head off right over the table.
Over the table. Yeah.
I think. Good gun, good game. But yeah, top 5. And if you're a streamer or a member of HavoK and you have a great clip, please, we have a stream clips chat in Discord. Just clip it, post it in that chat, so we can go through all those clips and pick our top 5. So
Yeah.
if you have a funny, it doesn't matter. It can be a good gameplay. It can just be a funny moment. It can be anything. Please submit it, and you might get picked, and it's good for your channel as well because we list your user or your Twitch link
Yep.
right on
So
the
it gets
video.
you some viewership right then and there. So always good for that. So if you haven't seen the top 5, then please do so. You can always find that at HavoK ESports on YouTube. So you just want to follow them. Reach out to us. I believe it's in the Discord, correct?
Yes.
What's that?
Mm.
The clip chat?
Yeah, the clip chat.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you're a HavoK member and you want to submit a clip for the top 5, there's a chat right in Discord.
Yeah,
that you
please
can
put it.
drop in.
Don't send it to myself. Don't send it to Shark. Don't send it to Frag because more than likely it's going to get lost in our DMs because
Right.
our DMs are very active
Right.
daily basis. So.
Pop it in there. We'll all look at it, and then the top 5 will make it.
And if you're not in the Discord, please let us know. We'll send you.
Oh, please. Secondly, we'd like to wish Shark, Swap, Patrick, and Cammy a happy birthday. All of them had birthdays this past week, so big shouts out to them. And if we did forget your birthday, then please let us know. That way we can wish you a happy birthday. So congrats on another year and many more to each one of those individuals. Plexus won a Fortnite 2v2 tournament. I believe he won $50, something like that. Not big. Obviously, Fortnite, the tournaments aren't the greatest right now just because there's no custom games. But big shouts out to him. Went out there and brought home a 2v2. He was playing with someone outside of the organization, which is okay. But HavoK Plexus is still with us. So big shouts out to him for doing that. Last week, released an album. It's been going really well. Gained a lot of popularity with that one. 7K unique listens, so I thank you for that. You guys have anything else that y'all can think of?
Yeah, actually, I have 2 things.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, 2 things, not just 1 thing. 2.
First of all, Doc came back to Twitch today.
Doc came back. Oh my god.
And not only did he start up his stream, and it crashed Twitch. Excuse me. The whole website crashed. Which is pretty.
Really?
Yeah. Twitch stopped. It stopped everybody's streams. Like the website crashed.
Yeah, he posted it on Twitter. He was like, "I broke Twitch."
Yep, he literally broke it. I think he peaked around like 380,000 viewers in the first hour that he was playing.
Yep.
Then it obviously dropped off dramatically.
So I didn't get to watch it, unfortunately. What was the first game that he played back?
PUBG.
Oh, the best game.
PUBG. Okay.
Now, him coming back also did raise a lot of drama on Twitch today. I was going back and forth between.
Yeah.
It was Summit, Trick, Soda Poppin, Tyler One. Tyler One. I don't know if you guys know Tyler One. When he first came back to Twitch, he actually holds the record for most viewers for 80,000. They were going. Him and Doc were actually going back and forth in each other's stream. Back and forth each other. So, and at one point, Doc said, picked up his cell phone, and it was a flip phone. And he's like, I need a hard-boiled egg. And his wife came in with a knife with like stuff all over him, and he just ate the hard-boiled egg right off the knife. They're definitely getting a kick out of all the publicity. I don't know if it was fake or real, but it's definitely glad to see the face of Twitch back. He's one of my
and if you think he's not the face of Twitch, he's the face of Twitch. Yeah, Summit's the most followed channel on Twitch right now, but Doc's definitely the #1 streamer, I would say.
For the year.
Exactly. But big shouts out to Summit. He is the #1 followed Twitch channel.
Summit.
Yeah, exactly. I gained a lot of hype off that, but big shouts out to Summit. I love Summit. So big shouts out to him for that.
Smooth Viper actually will be attending a major coming up, so
definitely. Also, you guys, MLG Atlanta. I'm not sure if we're gonna have a COD team or not. Shark, yes, no, maybe so.
I don't think so. I think we're gonna wait and see how obviously the Pro League is going on. Atlanta is going to happen. Birmingham is going to happen. We're probably not going to have we put out a couple offers for some, how do I say this? Extremely popular players. We did put out some offers to them just because they currently don't have an org still before Atlanta. So we just gave them a small offer as a backup plan in case they can't find an org. But we expect them to get better offers than what we can offer them. Honestly, I'm not. I think we're gonna be backing away from Call of Duty. There's a lot of changes in the market, which we talked about in the last podcast with GGEA.
Yep.
There's the new national circuit format. So it's as an owner, it's actually it's more advantageous to see how that stuff plays out and where the pro point standings fall, especially going into Anaheim and determine which teams have the best chance at possibly making stage 2.
Definitely.
Or even pool play at an event, that kind of thing. So I think like I said, we might have a team if some of these extremely popular players just can't seem to find an offer. So we might have a team for Atlanta, but I'm not counting on it. I don't think we're going to have a team, and that's okay. We'd like to see how the Call of Duty amateur world evolves.
Right.
So we'll see.
That's an exciting time for Call of Duty, especially
That's
this
all I'm gonna
week.
say about that.
Yeah. We're gonna
The
see
roster
a lot
is
happen.
gonna be
So
Crazy.
I will
Have it.
say that you might be seeing me going to Atlanta. I haven't made that decision yet, so I might actually be at that event and possibly Orlando as well.
Oh, I think we're gonna do Anaheim.
Yep. Anaheim,
They
definitely.
announced Anaheim, right?
So guys, if you're
So I'm
doing,
hoping we'll see. If we decide to come back to the Call of Duty scene, at least from an esports standpoint,
it would be Anaheim.
No, it would probably be Anaheim. We'll see. There's the last topic that I want to bring up really quickly, which is kind of scary and really important, and I'm gonna laugh at Nades and Austin over here about it. So Gamma Labs, makers of G Fuel, face lawsuit over lead in their energy supplement.
No way. Really?
Essentially, they are facing a lawsuit for not providing warning labels on 18 products that allegedly led in violation of California's health and safety code.
Woo!
Yeah. What products did they release? Specifics?
18 of them, they said.
18 out of like the 20 tubs.
Right. So most of them. So
wow.
very
Pencils?
interesting. Very interesting to know about. Obviously,
that's
Graphite. That's not lead.
Lead poisoning
So, like,
is a huge problem. And they're saying that these were other possibly cancer. You know how California? That's how the laws are in California.
Yeah, California.
Yeah, even I think like some paper products have the warning saying like this contains a chemical that can cause cancer.
The state of California, like nowhere else is important.
That's what they do in Cali. Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't talk politics, but that's what they do in Cali. And so yes, supposedly G Fuel is going to be facing a lawsuit. This is going to be pretty big news across the gaming community, especially Call of Duty and Halo, because G Fuel are big sponsors.
It's like the number one sponsor.
Organizations and players in those scenes.
Dang.
So
dang, man.
yeah, keep an eye out for that.
That's insane.
Don't drink G Fuel. At least for now.
Dang.
Drink Insane Labs and use code HavoK.
Use code HVK, please.
Well, dang. Oh, also, off the top of my head, I'm not sure if Shark actually saw this whenever I posted this out. It was kind of like a subtweet, but MaxT Sportswear, one of our sponsors, made what Shark is wearing right now. Awesome HavoK hoodie. They're gonna be launching a 3D website, so if you guys that are watching, you're not a part of HavoK, but you want some awesome apparel, please do check them out. My apparel, which I've been wanting for a long time. I'm actually finally gonna get that. The hashtag Nated hoodie. The
Hell yeah.
Nated hoodie. It's finally
excited
coming
for
out.
that
It's
one.
gonna come out on the website. If you guys haven't seen it, go look at my Twitter. It's a black and white hoodie. I love it to death. It looks phenomenal. If you can definitely pick it up, please, please, please. It helps out HavoK, helps out myself, and helps out MaxT. So I thank you for that. It looks dope as well, so you can't go wrong with that. Austin, you're muted, buddy.
All right. So how it works is if you want to make something, you're going to be able to go in and fully optimize and design whatever you want on this 3D designer. So it doesn't matter if you want to put tacos on the front of your jersey, on your sweatpants, whatever it is.
Sponsored
Design
by
it yourself.
Victoria's Secret on the back, whatever.
Whatever you want.
And I believe he said it's going to be built straight into the website. So
Yes, it's
so
your
all you have to do is go to the website and you can design your, if you're a team owner or maybe you play on a softball team or a kickball team or whatever you want. I mean, it's MaxT
Speaking
Sportswear.
of
It's
softball
not
jerseys, those things
specifically,
For
it's not
esports.
specifically,
Right.
just esports. It's full sportswear. So, and you'll
Great
be able
products.
to design it yourself. It's great. Yeah, it's definitely, it's quality. It's
Great.
in my opinion, the best.
I wear that zip up
company
every weekend
in esports.
into the paintball field and I get shot and it's white. And let me tell you, the paint comes out of it every single weekend. It looks like it's brand new.
Yep. No stains whatsoever. I've spilled grape
So-
juice on it, sweet tea on it, everything, and it comes right out. So
Leave it to you to spill grape juice on it.
it's great. It's great. It's great. It's
He's
great.
sipping grape juice.
Oh, and be sure to subscribe and check out our videos
Yeah,
on YouTube.
please do.
We're so close to that 100 subscriber mark. I'm gonna
Yep.
throw it in chat right here.
Yep.
We're so close to that 100 subscriber mark, so hopefully we can get a custom URL pretty soon here.
Nick, they changed it to 1,000, bud.
Oh, really? Those bastards!
Yeah.
All right, we're very close to 1,000 subscribers. We're about 1%. We're 1%, less than 1% of the way there. So please subscribe. Check it out.
Man.
We do our top 5 videos. We got a lot of other plans for it throughout the year.
Exactly.
Really excited. Please go check out the video, subscribe. You can watch a rebroadcast of all of our podcasts. Are going to be up there.
I know a lot of people have not only went back and watched it. Lucifer said he was watching one time. So
Podcast.
or was that you, Lucifer, that said
That
you
was
went back?
not me.
Okay, it was someone else. Sounds exactly like you. I was playing with last night. I thought it was you for the longest time. Like an hour in, I was like, "Wait, this isn't Lucifer." They were like, "No." I was like, "Oh my god." So
Yeah, like I said, you abandoned me. We went
yeah.
over this.
I'm sorry. We're gonna have a post-podcast broadcast. Nailed it, Shark. I nailed it, Shark.
Post podcast broadcast.
I nailed it,
Shark
man.
fucked it up and you got it. Come on.
Hey, I got it this
Fuck
week.
it up.
I got it this week. We're gonna be
I
streaming
do the podcast
something.
broadcast.
Don't really know. Austin, it's your week, my week,
Your week.
my week. Okay, so we'll figure out
So it'll
something
probably
fun
be,
to do.
Fortnite.
So we'll probably play some Fortnite.
I do want to do some Black Ops 2 again, Nades.
Okay, definitely.
We need to do that,
Guys,
again.
if you want to get involved with people, we're here for you. HavoK's a big family. Don't worry about what everything's been going on Twitter. Fuck all that shit. We're a good group of people. We're a good group of people. Like you see a smile, a smile on our face. We're very friendly. We're fun to play with. We love trying new things. We love meeting new people. If you're in the org and you're like, "Oh, no one wants to play with me," that's the lie. People are here constantly wanting to play. I was on today. No one else was on. So if you're on and you know you want to play with someone, please reach out in the community chat. Reach out to myself, Prophecy, whoever. Just get your name out there. That's how you're gonna grow. Big shouts out to Lucifer as well as Dylan for coming and chilling with us today on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
You might see them later on another podcast. Don't know. Like I said, if you do want to be on the podcast, please hit one of us up. Primarily me, just because I am the host of it, so I can keep it a little bit more formatted. So please just come reach out to me. We're going to have a lot more topics to talk about next week. Sorry about missing the last week, but like I said, we wanted to bring you a more...
You want to see my ninja?
We just wanted to bring you a better podcast this week. Yeah. Cat love.
This is the one that meows all the time on stream.
They need
Everybody.
dogs.
If you ever
They
watch a
need
stream,
dogs.
this is the one that causes all
So-
the issues.
Cats
They
are
need
awesome.
dogs.
I gotta say something to you, Nades. You're like, I was on today, but nobody can tell when you're online because you appear offline all the time.
Yeah, I know. I gotta fix that.
Facts.
Okay, I gotta fix that. So,
You've been appearing offline for like over a week now.
yeah. Yeah.
So how are you gonna say, "Oh, I was online, but nobody else was on to play with me"?
Because I tweeted out. Everyone should know. But anyways, that's besides the point. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. It's been real.
Podcast broadcast. Don't go
Yes,
anywhere.
thank you. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun. Thank y'all so much. It's HavoK Shark, HavoK Prophecy, HavoK Dylan, HavoK Lucifer. We're out.
Love
Thank
you,
y'all so
boys.
much.
Thanks, guys.